Today, it seems like every subreddit, YouTube channel, and tech giant has a different view on whether or not AI is going to take over the world. But opinions aside, AI is developing at a dizzying speed, and experts aren't actually convinced that it's doing us any good. But despite all of the hype and the speculation around this new technology, there is one huge problem that nobody seems to be talking about. A big thank you to Delete Me for sponsoring today's video. Look, I'm the kind of millennial who knows that AI exists and that it's vaguely threatening, but without any of the real details. So I decided to make this video to figure out what the hell is actually going on and how it will change the consumer landscape that we live in today. So the Future-Proof team and I dove down this rabbit hole and we found a lot of stuff about AI, basically saying that it was either ruining everything or optimizing our future. All the way from the art that we enjoy to the words that we use when we talk to each other. But like many other people, there is something about this technology that gives me the ick. There is a lot of skepticism and a lot of yelling about this technology, and I want to disclose that off the top. Obviously, we are not going to be the definitive source of what is actually going on. All we wanted to do was clear some of the smoke away from this mirror, and what we found in the process of this is fucking insane. Now, right off the bat, I don't want to doomsplain AI to you for this entire video, so we're going to start with some positive stuff. Occasionally, AI is very cool. For example, it is helping us diagnose diseases better and faster, it's created new tools for folks with disabilities, and it's helping us talk to elephants. It's improving safety, identifying fraud, and cracking the protein code, whatever the hell that means. But where this technology gets ugly is when it gets used against us. And that is sadly, exactly, predictably, what's happening. See, while most people are just laughing about the funny AI-generated images that are seemingly taking over Facebook nowadays, the technology is being weaponized to, you guessed it, sell us more crap that we do not need. The retail industry in particular is simping hard. This market, more than any others, is shoveling all their resources into AI, with the sector's expected spending on this to reach $29 billion in a few years. This tech is fundamentally changing the way that retail engages with us, and not in the way that we want. It's analyzing our behavior and personally targeting what they know about us, which is a lot, to convince us to buy more stuff. Now, maybe you're saying, Levi, that's not a big deal because you know what? We've already gotten used to targeted ads, right? You Google a particular brand of adult diaper and now you see them on every friggin' website that you visit for like the next month. But this is getting different. AI is going to take this to a whole other level that is honestly creepy and invasive. But because it's parading itself as this innovation that's gonna save the world or whatever, we seem to just be letting it happen before our eyes. And that's because AI is growing faster than we know how to deal with it. See, artificial intelligence, or artificial unintelligence, as some people are calling it, has actually existed since the 50s. But it wasn't until OpenAI released ChatGPT in November of 2022 that all the AI hype really kicked off. 2 months later, it had 30 million users and 5 million visits a day. Almost immediately, we saw big tech companies spending tens of billions of dollars on this technology in order to compete. Very quickly, this went from a novelty feature of our technological world to a competition of corporate power, with dictators saying whoever wins the AI race will rule the world. That's right. We have a lot of people, including the literal executives of OpenAI, unsure about whether or not AI will save the world or kill us all. Now, don't worry, we're gonna talk about how this thing is gonna destroy the world in a minute. We'll get back to that, but I wanna talk about how this technology is being used on the ground right now. With AI revolutionizing modern consumer culture, some weird stuff is happening. I'm talking about like sci-fi, action blockbuster, Matrix, Terminator style stuff. Soon, we won't have to pay with our credit or debit cards anymore. We can just pay with our faces. This is already happening right now in the US and in Asia, and CEOs are saying that facial recognition as a form of payment will become the new norm right here in Canada too. I love how Canada is always like last to every trend, and we watch it go terribly in those countries, and then we're still like, yep, surely it won't be as bad as it was for them. Because here's the thing. This new technology, like so many others, is being presented as a modern consumer convenience, something that will help us all live better lives. A security enterprise called Bluefletch, terrible name, describes the operation pretty well on their website, where they offer facial recognition as one of their services. They say that your face can be associated with your digital wallet, so when you get to checkout, all you have to do is scan your face and you're good to go. But this convenience is setting a precedent that nobody wants to be a part of. We found out that retailers can use AI to monitor your facial expressions and moods while you're shopping, and then they can use that data to personalize pricing and ads. So say, for example, you look really happy to see the new Hello Kitty strawberry shortcake goldfish. I mean, who wouldn't, right? They can serve you ads or deals that would incentivize you to buy in real time. And you might be saying, all right, that sounds fine. But you gotta understand that this is not a refined technology. AI algorithms are only as good as the material that they are trained on, which is sometimes YouTube videos. So that's where the friggin' bar is. And because AI is trained on existing human data, that means that it comes packaged with our biases and our discrimination tendencies as well. Like, for example, when Apple's credit card offered smaller credit limits to women in comparison to men. Nice. Right now, this tech is just getting rolled out in the real world, so you're probably not going to see this at your local shops just yet, but it's getting more popular as people get accustomed to AI in the real world. And what I find so baffling is that this whole premise hinges on the convenience that it supposedly offers us. Like, having our shopping experience flooded with targeted ads is something that you would actually want. Because if you think, hey, this is just gonna help me get some better deals or whatever, you are sadly mistaken. Most industry people predict that this technology will only increase what is known as surveillance pricing. Surveillance pricing means offering different people different prices for the same product, using all the information that they have about you, like your shopping history, what time you're most likely to buy things, like say when your payday is, and they can use those algorithms to jack up prices when they know that you want or need something bad enough, which leads to price gouging. This isn't just talk, this is literally happening today, especially online. The retail industry isn't actually using AI to make shopping a convenience for you, they are just using it to make as much money off of you as they possibly can. And they do this with all of the information that these big companies have on you. These AI tools get data from data brokers to educate their models. So anybody with access to your data can use it to feed this machine. Data brokers collect a huge amount of data from all over, and they make a profit selling it to anyone who will pay their fee. So you could spend hours on the internet trying to retrieve your personal information from hundreds of sites, or you can let Delete Me, our sponsor today, do all the work for you. Thankfully, they now have international plans, so Canadians like us are covered too. And did you know that when somebody buys your data, they can also see information about your relatives too? In response, they now offer family plans so you and your loved ones are a little bit more protected. You can get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/future20 and use our promo code future20 at checkout. That is joindeleteme.com/future20, code future20. All right, now I hate to say this, but this is actually the least terrible of the AI realities that we have to contend with. Amazon, one of my favorite companies ever, has tested an AI-based service that ships you a product before you actually order anything. It does a bunch of guesswork based on the information that it has about you, and then it ships a random item to you, anticipating it's something that you'll want before you do. Gross. Scammers are thriving off of this AI phenomenon, using image generators to sell fake products to real people. The AI tool that you can do this with is literally called "This Product Does Not Exist." Etsy and Amazon in particular are getting slammed with AI designs and fake AI products like stained glass lamps, self-help books, and Star Wars baby cribs. If you watched our video about how Temu ruined online shopping, you'd know exactly what we're talking about here. Link to that video will be down in the description below. And Environmentally, AI is a disaster. It's predicted to consume twice as much energy as the whole of France by 2030. It's exhausting the power grid, reviving our use of coal plants when we said that we would quit, and forecasting the demand for electricity to reach highs we haven't seen since before the US decided to clean up its act in the 90s. According to the International Energy Agency, a ChatGPT query uses 10 times the amount of energy required for a normal Google search. And speaking of Google, the entire company has actually had to drop its carbon neutral status because of the energy requirements of AI. And this is doubly ironic here because lots of people are pitching AI as the solution to our climate crisis. But it seems that AI is actually adding to the problem rather than solving it. And I just want to back up here a little bit to the Google thing because it's kind of wild here. Because Google was kind of like a leader in sustainable development. They pioneered a bunch of carbon neutral policies for their business and have been promoting this as a key part of their image as a sustainable brand. So for them to be willing to completely contradict years of cultivating that image, there must be a great reason why, right? Well, yes, there are billions of reasons why. Billions of dollars. Google and pretty much every other tech company that exists is wrestling to integrate AI into their products just to raise stock prices. It's trendy and it looks good to stockholders. So even when it doesn't make sense, some companies are integrating it. Much of the stock market growth of the last couple quarters has been due to the explosive growth of a few key AI technologies. But this is all about to come crashing down, and the tech industry knows it. Some of the biggest companies are realizing that they're overdoing it. The tech industry needs $600 billion a year to justify the money being invested in AI, which is literally not possible. Frustratingly, half of the reason why these companies are investing in AI is not because they actually want it or need it, but because there is risk in not investing. This is literally corporate FOMO, and it's destroying the planet in the process. I think what is so frustrating about this AI bender that we seem to be on is that there is a bunch of really interesting potential with this technology. It could be a tool to solve climate change. It could help us make the world a better place. But at the end of the day, AI is concentrating power in a few people's hands and generating a crap load of wasted resources while we're at it. Some of the most brilliant minds in this field are perfecting this cutting edge technology to what? Figure out how to sell you more stuff? And sadly, this is extremely common with many of the tech innovations that we see today. Flashy, novelty-driven services and features that are supposedly making our lives better, but are really there to, on the small scale, sell crap to people with not a lot of money, or large scale, sell ideas to people who have a lot of money. The phones in our pocket and the digital world that they connect us to is increasingly difficult for our monkey brains to comprehend. To tech, our personal and intimate lives are configurations of data. We are training material, profitable resources, feeding surveillance capitalism. AI sees us not just as consumers, but as sources of transaction, whose wallets can be tug-of-warred away using our behavior, our emotions, and our desires against us. And you can bet that it's only going to get worse. There is way too many examples here to get into, but one of my personal favorites is this pendant called Friend. It is supposed to be like the newest version of a personal assistant, but as the name implies, it has a more human connection. The comments on this YouTube video capture the Black Mirror kind of vibes that this technology gives off, and personally, I love nothing more than seeing a brand release a stupid product and seeing everyone just rip it to shreds in the comment section. But imagine how much harder it's going to be for us to make our own conscious decisions when your digital friend is telling you that there's a discount on water bottles at Target. That was a dark one. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you for being here. If you want to see more, subscribe, and I'll depress the hell out of you every single week with what's going on in our consumer world. Thank you so much. Bye for now.